So under device, I'm able to see all of those devices, whether they're online or they're not online. Okay. Now, as I mentioned before, the benefit of using Akuvox is the remote management side of things. So say, for example, if I need to upgrade a firmware, I don't need to physically go there. I can update the firmware on any of the devices that's online. Say, for example, all of these devices that's green, I'm able to update the firmware directly from my portal. So all I need to do to update those devices is click on firmware. Okay, click. Sorry. Upgrade. Sorry. Click on new. Okay. So in new, I'll need to select my model number. So which device I want to update. Say, for example, E12. It'll give me a list of all the devices and all the customer that has an E12. Okay, so it's just a matter of selecting the device that I want to upgrade, or simply select all of it and click submit. Now, there's two options for you to upgrade. First option is to upgrade right away, so upgrade right now, or I can select to schedule that update. Say, for example, I can schedule for the update to occur 2 a.m. in the morning. So without interrupting the device or the user using the devices. Okay. Now on your portal, you also see message. Quite an interesting feature, guys. Okay. Under message, you're able to send messages to individual customer, or you can send a message to all your customers. Say, for example, if there's a known issue, if there's a known bug, or if there's an outage, that I'm aware of, what I can do is send that customer a message before they contact me to report the issue. So what I need to do to send those messages is go to message, click on new. Okay, title, say app upgrade. Message, type in whatever I want. Okay, now I have to choose how I'd like to deliver that message. Now, do I want to send it to both the indoor monitor and the app, or the indoor monitor only, or the app only? Okay, so in this case, we can leave it as both indoor monitor and app. Then what I'll need to do then is select the customer that I want to send the message to. Okay, so again, I can select individual customer, or I can select to send all my customer that message. Okay. So once you've done, you'll click submit, and they'll receive that message both on their monitor and on their app. Okay. All right. So back to the so that's the installer portal side of things. Again, from the portal, not only I'm able to upgrade the firmware, I also have the ability to enable or disable any account I like. Give an example. say I've done some work for Joe and he's not paying his bills. I can deactivate Joe's account. So he's not able to use his device until he pays me. As an example, guys. Not saying that you guys will abuse the feature, but that's one of the examples that you're able to do. Okay, so I won't show you how to do that yet, but when the time comes, just talk to your supplier, and they'll be able to show you how to enable and disable that. Okay, now let's go back to user. All right, say for example, after I've done the job for Joe and he's called me a week later and he wants to make some changes to his devices, right? Or any changes that Joe wants to make, I'm able to make those changes from my portal directly. So it saves me time from going to Joe's property. Things like PIN numbers, or even if he calls you and say there's an issue with your with the devices, and so on and so forth. You'll be able to log into the device directly and check those devices and do any programming you like. Okay, so what I do, let me select a customer that is online at the moment, say Joe. Well, there you go, we do have a Joe right here. Okay, so Joe. So for me to remotely manage the device, what I need to do is click on this icon. Okay. So from Joe's account, I can see he's got 3 monitors and a single door station, and all of those devices are online. Okay. Again, guys, I want to emphasize, with the Akuvox intercom system, there's absolutely no configuration whatsoever. So, to get the product to work, to get the door station and monitor to call each other, there's no configurations. All you need to do is plug it into the router and it will work. And of course, if you need to make some advanced setup, like setting up relays and so on and so forth, then that's when you need to do basic configurations. But in terms of getting the product to work, getting the product to call each other, whether it's a one-to-one, one-to-multiple, or 5 door stations with 5 monitors, all you need to do is plug it into the router and it will work off the bat. Now, there's only one requirement, as I mentioned before. You need a router. So if you're doing a new build and there's no internet or router there, you'll need to purchase a router for the system to work. So even though the product communicates via MAC address, it does need that initial IP address to get the device going. But again, it doesn't rely on IP addresses. The IP address can change as many times as it wants. It will not affect the performance. Okay, unlike other manufacturer, if customers, change provider, if they change modems, if they change routers, the product stops working. Not so. So if you log into the customer's account and it's not green, and it's all grayed out, it indicates that the product is not online. So all you need to do is basically make sure the internet is working and cable is connected properly. So customers often calls me and say, Kev, is there any programming? There's absolutely no programming whatsoever. All right. So if I want to make any changes, in actual fact, let me just log into this user. Sorry. Okay, so I've actually created a user for myself. So as you can see here, register quite a few devices for our display. All right, say for example, you know, I want to make changes to one of my devices that's been installed at my house. All I need to do is click on this information icon. Okay, click on settings. You'll see a remote control tab right here. So from this tab, you're able to reboot the customer's devices. You're able to log into the device remotely. You're able to reset customer's password. So in the event that they forgot their password, you're able to reset their password from here as well. So in this case, we would like to access the device remotely. Okay, just refresh. Okay, and I'm logged in. All right, so I'm now logged into the device from my installer portal. Okay, from here, I can make any changes that I want.